Hey everyone, this is Beant with Extendly for HighLevel, and I've got Paulson, Director of Business Development, with me from HighLevel. Paulson, say hi to everyone.
Hey everyone, I'm absolutely excited to be here. Thanks for having me, Beant.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, Paulson, this is the very first webinar we're doing together, and I'm excited to have you. And I thought, what better topic than talk about SaaS mode with you, with everyone? You
Yeah, man,
excited?
I am. I've heard great things about you and the business that you've built so far, and I've heard you're serving a lot of our high level clients and even more attracting more clients to high level. So we thank you for everything that you're doing as well. I know, ultimately we are one big family of entrepreneurs that are creating some cool solutions in the marketplace. So I appreciate you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for being with us. So, today we wanted to talk about how to set up any client in any niche with just one universal snapshot. The reason I wanted to bring this up is because a lot of people overcomplicate high level. When it's really easy to do so, it doesn't have to be that way. A high level can be looked at very simply in a very simple manner. There's a bunch of things high level does, and yes, you can absolutely get as complicated as you want with it. But when you're starting out, I think keep it simple. You'll have a better success. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think at the end of the day, customers and clients just want one thing, which is people in the door or that
Right.
phone ringing. And for that phone to ring, we can go down a very complicated path. We can go down a simple path. But at the end of the day, getting those early wins in the books of that relationship right out of the gate is really important. And for you to do that, it's usually better to simplify that initial interaction of like, hey, here's the conversations, here are the opportunities, deal with these conversations, or we'll handle it for you, whatever your solution is. Or if you're doing SaaS only, whatever that solution is, maybe all you're doing is calendars. So all you have to do is set up the calendars for them and get out of the way. But because marketers and software engineers, we know so much about this product and so much about what it can all do, you naturally think about the 400 items that it can possibly do and kind of step on yourself quite often in the process. But it's a normal thing to go through. The overcomplication is very normal, and a lot of times at high level, even with our own onboarding, people jump in the first 2 months, they quit and come back in about 3 months. It's like a predictable thing when you overcomplicate it.
Right, right.
But yeah, I mean, that's my take on it. I'm excited to go through this conversation with you, Beyond, because I think you bring in that the technical expertise, and I can share a lot on the strategic side of how agencies are actually implementing this, and I'm excited to share more ideas.
Yeah, perfect. So here's a big question for you. Why don't you tell everyone what is SaaS mode and why every agency, small or big, rather, needs it?
Well, the traditional so my let me give you a quick background about myself so that way you have some context of where my suggestions are coming from. 2000 my original background is in healthcare. I spent about 8 to 9 years in healthcare, in radiology specifically, and pretty soon I burnt out and I said, you know what, I want to do entrepreneurship. So decided to piss off my wife and go into entrepreneurship right out of the gate, and went through the trenches of building a so-called agency the hard way. And at the time, the agency is just, slap on LLC with one guy behind it and a laptop. And all the coaches and experts at the time made it look really easy and thought it was gonna be easy. But in reality, the agency model, the biggest flaw with it is it's built on a leaky bucket of churn, right? So we know for a fact about 70, 80% of your clients will leave you. Like, no agency kept their first client, I promise you.
Yeah.
No, nobody. So clients are prone to leave you. Now, that's the agency model. And usually they last about three
A-
months, two or
and
three
just to
years.
clarify, we're talking about a marketing agency, not a software
Correct.
Right.
Correct. Yeah, we're talking about a marketing or advertising or branding creative agency,
Yeah.
lead generation, SEO, social media management, even staffing agency. It's very similar. You'd be surprised how high their churn is. But these marketing agencies have, I think the number was like 72 or 76% churn in the first 3.5 months, meaning all the programs out there in the coaching space was all the ones that did really well are the ones in the sales component, right? I'll teach you how to land a new client because we're not going to solve your churn problem, but we'll get you to fill up your pipeline even more because you have to now land more clients, which
Hmm.
ultimately doesn't solve the problem of the business model, right?
Right.
When you look at software, right? Software companies in general, um, if the solution is right, if the offer is right, if the market is right, you typically have less than 3 to 4% churn in the traditional software world. Um, Now, the reason why marketing agencies have a tremendous opportunity with this whole high level SaaS mode, for I actually forget high level, any SaaS mode that you want to build with any system,
Right.
right? The reason why that model is still stronger is because you're a product provider, you're not a service provider, allows you to scale without hours attached to it, allows you to have a recurring model like a subscription model. Plus, all you have to do is really make sure the offer makes sense, right? Make sure your development or whatever makes sense. So for us at high level, we just want to become your development partner, right? And you have businesses like Beant who are supporting that development, supporting implementation of that development, and you have expertise with ecosystems like this, right? So ultimately, you can go to the market and create a product without putting millions of dollars into developing a bunch of things because you have the expertise of what they need, which is operational strength, marketing expertise, sales expertise, placement of staff, or even setting up proposals like or calendars. Like you have these natural skills as an agency owner that you can bring to the table. And that's why SaaS mode is so important. High level just made it easier with SaaS mode plan that we have, where we said, hey, listen, we'll handle the subscriptions and the financial billing for you. Here are all the products, here are all the features that you can basically put together and create an offer with. And that's really what SaaS mode really is, a shift in the market that allows you to go from services to products.
Fantastic. And there's very, very good reasons that why people need it. And there's obviously a cost associated with it. And there's I'm gonna back up a little bit. There's three plans that High Level offers, right? The $97 plan, then the $297 per month plan, and then there's the $497 per month plan. So one of the things I want to help clarify and get your feedback on is a lot of times people get a bit confused thinking that it's an extra $497 a month to get the SaaS mode. And is that accurate, Paulson?
No, it's not extra. It's
Exactly.
really 497 total for you to run a software
That's
company.
right.
you know?
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, thanks for clarifying that. So you're really upgrading from the 97 or the 297 plan to the 497 plan. So if you're on the 297 plan, it's only $200 extra to get to the 497 plan,
Exactly.
and you get the SaaS mode
Exactly.
included in it.
And you want to upgrade with Beyond's links and resources because he's going to make the implementation and the starting point a lot more easier for you. And that's why Extendly is such a powerful brand around high level ecosystem, right? So in my mentality, here's my choice. Like, okay, do I go raise angel funding or take out a loan and go get a group of developers in India or Philippines or South America and code up a bunch of stuff and then go test it out? Like that whole entire piece is completely handled for you when it comes to high level SaaS mode, right? Because that's the barrier of entry into SaaS that we pretty much democratized. We said, you know what? Here you go, agency owners, or here you go, marketers or consultants or freelancers or branders or whoever you want to be, and take the combination of services or products or features and create your own solution and say, Here's my business name. Here's my plans. Here's what I want to charge for it. And you know what's a crazy thing? You keep 100% of the revenue. Like we're not asking for your revenue of your SaaS company. Neither is Beant. He's really helping you stabilize your business at the end of the day. But none of us are asking for that revenue. That's 100% revenue to you. We're actually seeing a couple of agencies. I don't know if you know this, Beant. We're seeing a couple of agencies go through mergers and acquisitions in the $5-6 million range already.
Wow.
That are built on HighLevel. Like they're not hiding HighLevel. They're saying this is the operating system our software is built on. And at this point, I don't know how much better it can get for you to start a software company.
Exactly. This has allowed many people to start a software company. There's one question I want to sort of clarify here. Those people that don't know this already. So, Paulson, I'm going to direct this question to you. How much extra per additional customer or a business or an account does it cost after you've paid $4.97 a month to an agency?
Zero.
Right? $0.
Zero because it's
Isn't that
unlimited.
crazy?
It's unlimited. Why? The thing that most people don't understand beyond is the business model of like, what is HighLevel doing? How is HighLevel making money on this, right? So to me, what we do something called the blade revenue. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but the blade revenue is our primary customer, obviously, is the agency, right? We're not going to ever tax the agencies any more than what we have. Matter of fact, we're going to continuously look for ways to bring down the cost for that agency to regardless of their revenue, right? But what we will do is create a relationship with companies, the telecom companies like Twilio, Verizon, AT&T, Mailgun, all these people, or Stripe for that matter, right? Where we will have a direct relationship with them and curate a cost that's lower for you as an agency. And those companies would pay us for the usage, right? So ultimately, our revenue is not built on the agency. So we will never, ever tax the agencies any more than the cost or what we have to. The real business for us is on the outside of the ecosystem. So if you understand that business model, it allows you to breathe a little bit and be free and not worry about, fair usage policy and random bills that may or may not come your way. Just remember, your cost is $4.97 to jump into an ecosystem like this for the SaaS mode. Even if you're brand new, I recommend just jumping into the $2.97. Get familiarized before you just jump into SaaS mode. Take your time understanding what the features are, what the offers could be, and then make a decision on targeting one avatar, and then get your messaging right from there.
Absolutely. So on this webinar, like I said, we're going to talk about the universal niche snapshot, and we've got a surprise. And you mentioned a little bit of it. You said sign up with with us to get started with HighLevel. So I've got a little surprise planned for everyone. So before we go into that, the sign up offer that we have, anyone wanting to upgrade or sign up to HighLevel, these are all of the things we do to bring you up to speed and save you bunch of time. And that is, so first you get a 30-day extended free trial of HighLevel versus a 14-day trial. You also get 6 months of free tech support directly from us to answer any questions that you may have, or how do I do this? How do I do that? Because we've been through this. We've been through this with many other agencies as well. We've put together best ways to accomplish things. So we offer that direct support to you. And there's something called dashboard customization. Everyone loves, branding their HighLevel dashboard. So we do that free of charge, so you can set yourself apart and have your branding and color scheme put in place for your HighLevel. We'll set up your Twilio, your Mailgun with the optimal settings. And then there's the small business snapshot, which is the one we're referring to today as the universal niche snapshot. you get that for $500 off normally. But the people that are watching today and people that get to watch this or have attended will receive that snapshot 100% free. Normally, we charge $995 for it, but it'll be 100% free for the ones that sign up or upgrade to the 497 plan through our affiliate link. And Sharon, you can share the affiliate link with everyone so they can go ahead and do that whenever ready. And then and this one requires a completely separate webinar to go over, but there's something called a Ultimate SaaS Agency in a Box snapshot. We've built that, we've put that together to basically set up a sub account for you as a SaaS agency to get started in as little as a day to launch your high-level SaaS product to other customers so they can go on a landing page, a website, see what you have to offer, and then sign up, purchase a plan from you, get the onboarding done and all that for them. And by the way, we do onboardings and support as well. So if you didn't know about it, check it out on our website at getextendly.com there. So let's talk about the Universal Small Business Snapshot here. Early on, I mentioned keeping things very, very simple. So as you guys know, HighLevel can be complicated if you make it complicated, but it doesn't have to be that way. There's even if you've heard Paulson, Chase, Sean talk about, there's a few things that you want to present to your customer, and that is anything that relates to bringing a lead in to them or getting their phone ringing, right? So and those are things like your website chat widget, any missed call text backs, or maybe a calendar if they're a service type of business, depending on what they do, right? Integrating their Google My Business profile to and having a phone number attached there so calls can come in into the conversations inbox. So what we've done to utilize all of those features is built out workflows that are ready to go that you would install inside a new account when you sign up a new customer. And these are all workflows that are applicable to all those features that I just mentioned and more. And this is a very good base for you to start off with. So, for example, our website schedule a call button or a calendar, right? There's workflows in here that relates to calendars, your confirmations and reminders. Let's go ahead and go into one of them. And basically, when someone schedules a call, there's all these things that are happening, right? So if you think about Calendly is another competitor software that does calendars, right? But they don't do as good of a job reminding your prospects that they have an upcoming appointment. There's maybe one email reminder that goes out and maybe a text message, and that's about it. So here you can customize whatever you want to send out. So what we've done here is you've got your initial confirmation that goes out through email and a text message. We're tagging them as a potential lead and another tag called scheduled a call. Of course, the tags could be changed if you wanted to. Then we're adding a note in their contact that someone scheduled a call at this time with this person. Then in addition to that, we're sending an internal notification through the HighLevel app or the Lead Connector app to you or to your user that, hey, so-and-so scheduled a call with you at certain time. And in addition to, you can also send out a text message. We're adding them into a pipeline stage, so opportunities. Now, you can't even do this with Calendly. There's no pipelines in Calendly, right? So we're adding them into a pipeline stage and calling it this is a new lead or an inquiry. And we're removing any previous tags that may contradict Things like if they previously came in, scheduled a call and there were a no-show. So if there was any no-show or a canceled call tag on there, we're removing them because now they've scheduled another call here, right? And then there's a 2 days before reminder, a 4 hour before reminder, a 10-minute before reminder. And this is when it gets really, really fun. The 10-minute before reminder, Paulson, this one text message reminder that goes out 10 minutes before any meeting has saved so many no-shows for me. It is not a joke. Before that, I didn't used to have, I had a 1 hour before reminder. And 1 hour before reminder is cool because in an hour, but when it comes closer to the time, a lot of people forget, right? And then you're late or you forget or you just didn't show, whatever the case. 10 minutes before you get that message, and the message simply says, "Hey, we'll see you in 10 minutes or talk soon," right? And now they know, drop whatever they're doing, get to their computer, and be ready for that call, right? So it absolutely lowers your no-show rates there. And then we've done something very tricky that HighLevel allows us to do. No other software allows you to do this, but we've set up an automated call. It happens 2 minutes before. I set this up personally out of a need for me because I used to forget my meetings. And so this 2 minute before call allowed me to have my phone ring. It's a call to me or to whichever user, right? And so the phone would ring, and I would know, okay, there's a meeting coming up. I would answer the phone, and it says exactly this. So this is the content we've written in there. So it tells me who that meeting is with, and whether if it's a phone meeting, I can simply just press one and it'll dial them. I don't have to remember a phone number. Or if it's an online meeting, I can simply hang up and log into my Zoom, turn on the meeting, and since then I've always been on time. I've always been on time. I've never missed a meeting because of that.
Let me add a few things here as you are going through this workflow. So
Yep.
one of the common questions that I get around Saas is like, Paulson, like, okay, cool. I'm going to do my prospecting. I'm going to set up a quick demo. I'm going to jump on an onboarding. Where do I even start on this onboarding conversation? Where do I even start in how I talk to my clients? So the first thing you want to pay attention to, if you're all watching here and you're interested in even agency services or SaaS, it doesn't matter. The first thing you want to pay attention to is the love language of the industry, right? Like if you have ever read the book Five Love Languages, right? It's really popular among married folks and family-oriented people and everything
My
else.
wife's reading that right now.
Right. And what it is like really articulates like the different ways somebody would like to be communicated through or shared rewards or like, show appreciation, right? So in the industries that you go through, like let's say, for example, home services, the way people talk in home services is drastically different than your dental offices. There are two different educational backgrounds, two different ways of moving, two different ways of operating. So when you get to these conversations where you're showing a workflow or setting up a workflow, you want to talk to them in how their world is. So if you're talking to somebody in the medical space, you want to say patient, not customer, right? If you go to real estate, a lot of them will call their customers clients instead of customers because they might be investors, right? So you want to really pay attention to things like that. The second thing I will point out is decide how to diversify your conversation. So for example, when you put together a universal or a generalized snapshot that has a lot of different things in it, it's easy to go sideways with this conversation because the customers will drive you sideways. Like just because they're like, oh crap, I have this calendar thing. Oh yeah, I gotta have this appointment thing. Oh crap, like I don't have a Zoom meeting. Well, this is the front desk that handles this, or my wife handles this. Everything's gonna go all over the place. So you have to really confine this conversation and say, hey, listen, let's talk about your sales flow. And that's all I want to talk about. We'll talk about marketing after, we'll talk about your operational stuff after. But right now, for the next 5, 6 minutes, let's just talk about the sales flow. Where are the leads coming from? What sources do you have? Can we just first consolidate all those leads into one place? That's it. Right. So you want to confine that conversation and say, this is what we're going to achieve. This is what we're going to get done. Right. The second thing is like, okay, once you consolidate it, what is your role as a business owner? What is my role as a software person that's going to support this, right? Are there scripts? Are there templates in the messaging that we need to build into it? Are you used to doing 30-minute appointments, or do you have to have an hour because you do XYZ with your services? If you are creating SaaS or products around operational side, like I know a few people that do just reminders, notifications and reminders as the SaaS itself.
Right.
Right? Or they'll do monthly newsletters. So you have to really focus in and say, you know what? Let's just talk about the operational side of this. What are we trying to achieve? So be very conscious of the language and how you talk to your customers on the sales side as well as the onboarding, because if you can control that temperature, when you do jump into the workflow, they're going to have context. They're going to understand the purpose behind this. Otherwise, you expose this entire workflow and they're trying to match this with what their business is, what's actually happening in their business, which is a
Absolutely.
great way to lose them, right? So I just wanted to share that with all of you, because this is one of the biggest things I come across as a big question. Like, why am I losing people on my onboarding? How come they bought something that they didn't understand?
Right.
These questions come up, but hopefully that adds to this conversation, Beant.
That's perfect. I'm glad you brought that up because it's very, very important to know what your customer's sales flow is, right? So there's businesses, for example, let's take restaurants as an example. They don't even use calendars, right? There's no need for them to use calendars. So I wouldn't even show them or talk to them about it, right? Because they have a completely different sales cycle and a sales flow. Versus you've got service businesses, plumbers, electricians, HVAC companies, and so on and so forth. And for them, calendars may be very, very important for them to utilize. So it depends, who you're talking to. You get to understand that persona, which is why eventually niching down to the particular industry is very, very important, because then you get to know them really, really well, and you get to talk to them about in their language, per
Yeah,
se.
and on that niching point, like I've built an agency that was completely traditional, which is the marketplace behind HighLevel today. Me and Robin built that, right? And
Mhm.
it's like we have like 12 or 18 something different industries. But what I recommend is starting with one and then creating that as a stepping stone and go into the lateral niches if you have to later, like depending on the type of business and agency you want to build. There's nothing wrong with a traditional agency with 10 different industries. We're just saying focus on one at a time, because you are really not going to capture all those rabbits at the same time. It's just too hard to chase. It's too much messaging. It's too much prospecting. Go all in on the one that you have a little bit of success with, then focus on the lateral complementary industries around it.
Yeah, and one point I want to add to that is, and this has been my suggestion always to any SaaS agency owner that I'm talking to, is that when you're first getting started, you don't know uh, you're generally confused. How do I pick a niche and where do I go? Well, look within your circle first. Look within your social circle. Who do you know? How many different businesses do you know? Which type of businesses are easier for you to get the decision maker on the call with, right? Which type of businesses need a software or already have something that isn't really needed, right? Which one can you get a decision from as quickly as possible? So, one example is for someone who's got a lot of real estate friends, may be really, really easy for them to get into the real estate niche because they have that access maybe someone who's really up there with a bunch of influence and can get you in there. But for the other person who doesn't have that, hears someone else talking about, hey, real estate is the niche to go into, and tries to go in there and finds it extremely difficult to do so, right? So I think it's extremely important. Find out what your social circle is, who you can get to the fastest and the lowest, the smallest sales cycle you have with that niche. I think the better chances you have win success with that.
Yes, 100%. I just always say, can you imagine yourself hanging out with that industry or the people in that industry? If you can do that, you have a good chance. Like my third agency was in the automotive space. And typically, I'm a suit and tie guy, I'm pretty cleaned up typically. I freaking struggled in the automotive space because it was too blue collar for me, frankly. So I brought in a business partner that was a whole lot more, he was a pretty Western guy from West Texas, and like he crushed it in sales where I struggled in sales, and I'm pretty decent at sales, but he struggled in the dental world where I did really well in the dental world, right? Because it just, to me, it's just the familiarity you built with that industry and how they perceive you and that connection. So I'm 100% with what you said, Beant. Go with something that you're familiar with, that you
Right.
can imagine, that get the easy access if you already have a certain group of people that you have a relationship with, and start there at least as a beta test. You may not stay there forever, but at least start a beta there. Put a couple of people together, have a conversation, tell them you're starting a software company and you would like to get some feedback from them. Use this thing for free for like few months or whatever you want to offer them in exchange for feedback, so that way you can create your offers and products as you go.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right.
I
So
like the confirmation workflow. I think this is pretty interesting that you have even the automated call set up.
yeah, and lastly, we've got this thing called client meeting status update. Or if it was a different industry using it, let's say dental, it would say patient meeting status or patient appointment status update. But so what this does is, Paulson, I don't know if you know this, but we like to automate the pipeline as much as possible without having people in there and manually moving the card along the stages. So with this, we're able to send out this email or a text message to the user who's having that appointment or meeting. And it asks a couple of simple questions. So it auto-populates the information of the person who they're having the meeting with, and it gives them a section to write notes as they're so note taking as they're having that conversation with, and simply asking them, hey, what was the outcome of this? Did you sell them a product, or were they a show or a no show, or whatever the different stages you want to have in there depending on your sales cycle. And that allows you to move your pipeline automatically without having to ever manually go in there, and at the same time keep notes tracked on whatever that call was about, um, with whoever you had that call, because a lot of times we forget what that conversation was like, and were we supposed to email them back something or whatever that was. So it helps you track all of that and keeps you more organized. um, Moving on, there's of course the canceled and no-show workflows in here that we've put together, and there's incoming leads. So incoming leads into HighLevel can come in from several different ways. The website chat widget, your Google My Business messaging, your Facebook Messenger or Instagram Messenger. You can have a form as a contact us form on your website. We built in a request a callback feature that works really, really well. And then as well as if it's depending on the type of business, you may have incoming phone calls coming in that you may need to take down leads information on the fly. So generally, when you start a high-level account for a customer, a lot of this is not pre-built in. So we have it all built in for you, and it's depending on whatever the trigger is that's firing, it's meeting certain conditions, and it's notifying, adding them into a pipeline, adding a tag, and allowing you to reply back to them and be notified. In this case, your customers would be notified as well of this capture. So they can see that, hey, a inquiry came in from the website chat widget. And by the way, and I'm sure you agree with me on this, Paulson, I really recommend everyone telling your customers to download the Lead Connector app. Um, Ever since I've been doing that, and I use it every single day myself as well. It is amazing the amount of notifications you can track, that the app allows you to see. And simply by clicking on it, you get the exact context of whatever that notification was. It takes you into either the conversations or the pipeline, wherever you have it set to go to. You're able to communicate with your customers right from the app.
Yeah, if you have a doubt about SaaS retention, it's very correlated with mobile usage, and we have it with data that we can back it up with. Like 70% of your SaaS users that use any mobile provision that you give them will stay with your SaaS offer. Right. So
Yep.
I 100% recommend you doing a lead connector. Matter of fact, once you graduate beyond lead connector, get your own white label mobile app.
Yep.
And I'm sure Beant can help you set that up as well. So either way, usage on the phone is really, really getting more heavier and heavier and heavier when it comes to software. Like if you have a software and don't have a mobile component, they're not going to take you seriously. Like, can I download this? If you can't, like, it's like, they're like, you're not a real software company. That's literally how they would treat it. So
Yeah.
100%, there's, a huge usage of SaaS users on SaaS mode for the agencies themselves through Lead Connector.
Yep. All right. So next, I want to talk about the Twilio phone numbers and the missed call text messages or incoming calls and things of that nature. So we HighLevel, by default, also has a pre-built missed call text back notification as well that you can enable right from there. But this software is so versatile and so customizable. We actually built out our own workflow to suit our needs on how to do that. So what we've done in here is we've gone a little bit more over the edge with our missed call text back workflow here, and you're able to customize this depending on the business type. You're able to customize it to whoever you want, and I'll give you an example of some restaurants that we use it at and how it's utilized there. So here we've added a task. Anytime a missed call happens, there's a task gets created and assigned to a user. An internal notification fires off, and sorry, we missed your call. And a message fires off, and then we send out a second message. And this is this is only applicable depending on the type of business you're using this for. But if it's any service-based business, or anyone using the calendar feature, then you can send out, sorry we missed your call, but here's here's a calendar link to schedule a quick call with us, and turn them into a scheduled call with you. In different types of businesses. So for example, I also own a security company. We do surveillance systems for businesses. And there, what we do is we use any missed call as an opportunity to share more information with our customers, and try to figure out, what is this call about? Is it a support call or is it a sales call? And they reply back with something, and then my team's inside HighLevel on a day-to-day basis, and they're able to respond back, and either help them with support questions or get it over to the sales team, who's then able to get on a call with them. And then I also own some restaurants as well. And in our restaurants, we use this very, very differently. So when those of you that don't know, last year we bought about 4 restaurants. We're up to 6 now. But the first day when we walked in, and this was scary for me, Paulson. These are pizza restaurants. The previous owner's telling me, "Hey, congratulations. By the way, you guys have a big problem." I said, "Okay, what is the problem?" We have a lot of missed calls that happen because the staff gets busy, and during the busy hours, they're not able to answer the phones. So you're going to need to pay attention to that, and we lose a lot of revenue because of that. And right then, ding, 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 I have a solution for this. I activated HighLevel right off of the bat for each one of them. So just last month in June, we tracked the difference that we had by enabling the missed call text back at these restaurants. So the numbers were something like this, where in month of November, the first month we took over the restaurants, we had 2,000 phone orders, and then only about 3,200 online orders. So our missed call text back is, "Hey, sorry we missed your call. Did you know you can also order online? And here's the link to order online." Right? And people go and order online. And so now, in the month of May, the month before last, we tracked it. Our incoming phone calls, phone orders have gone down to 900 something, and our online orders have increased to 4,000 something. So more people are going online. And take this into consideration. Our average ticket, uh, phone orders versus online orders, used to be $34. Now it's $42 because of the online orders. So the revenue increases there as well.
Yeah, let's pause for 1 second. So the last like 2, 3 minutes of what you shared about how you impacted your own, business.
Mhm.
This is how you pitch a SaaS client. This is what you have to share with them. Like, this is why you have to jump into their industry and say, I know how to change something in your business operational. Like, for all we know, only thing we did was take on less phone calls, but
Yeah,
we converted that into online tickets, right? So
yes.
does it really matter how that happened to that business owner? It they don't. It doesn't matter to them. They don't even care. Like, we have SaaS users that are leveraged on the SaaS agencies that don't even log into the platform because they have solutions like this, right? So think through, because in your pitches, what Beant just shared in the last 2, 3 minutes of what you're providing is exactly how you present an offer. This is exactly how you help them understand what you're bringing to the table. If you talk about all the fancy words like workflows and tags and missed call text back, like, you're going to lose them in 5 more times of that, right? In 2 minutes you're going to lose them. So think through on that experience that we just saw, just beyond talking about his own story. And this is what the customers need. This is why I think the marketing agencies are the perfect bridge for the SaaS component.
Absolutely.
Now you can turn around and sell that business back to them and say, hey, listen, I've solved all your problems. It's going to cost you 5x to take that back from me, though.
Right. Absolutely. But, a great point there. It's a very small change that we made in there, and it was implementing HighLevel, and all we did was enable missed call text back. And that alone, month over month, we saw how that changed revenue wise, and as well as, matter of fact, we have less customer service issues now because before with the phone orders, the issue also used to be, well, even when they took an order, hey, I asked for this modification and that modification, they got it wrong and this and that. Now the customers online entering it in themselves, so there's less chances of them making a mistake and having those complaints. And less labor hours are also getting used. So there's multiple benefits to it, not just the sales increase.
Yep, 100%. So I think missed call text back is phenomenal. What else do you typically onboard a SaaS client with on the workflows?
So we provide everything that's in here. Not depending on the industry, we don't enable every single part of it. And by the way, when we onboard a customer, we don't even show them the workflows. They're just there.
Okay.
right? The only thing we talk to them about is the conversations tab. That is it. I don't want anyone to be confused or to be, oh my God, there's so many different options. What do I do? This is a gigantic software, right? We tell them, hey, look, the only thing you need to worry about is this conversations tab. There's an unread, recents, and all. Those are the three tabs you need to look at, and that's really it. Everything else is going to happen automatically based on another action being taken. So if someone, let's say someone books an appointment, you're going to get an email and it's going to tell you what that appointment is, and this and that. And there's going to be a status update form where you're going to click on that, update the status, and you're done, right? And if someone replies or you misses a call or asks a question, all of that communication is going to be right in the conversations inbox. And then secondly, we may go over the contacts tab, to those people that want to send out blasts and emails and things of that nature. But that's it. If I were to go in and show everything in here, I guarantee you they are going to be confused, and probably after the first month, even just, or as soon as the trial's over, they're going to be canceling because they're not going to want to understand the software that we're putting in front of them. So don't overcomplicate it. Keep it very, very simple for them. Of course, we've got the review requests built in here as well. Matter of fact, I've got an example opened for you. So here's what a review request. This is actually a brand new one that we're testing it out. We're testing it out at my restaurants. Because of the review gating issue, we've put this together where you're presenting a button to allow them to contact you directly if there's an issue, or if they love you and they want to spread the word, leave a review on Google. Now, you may get some negative reviews passed through because of that as well, but that's okay. You are also going to get a bunch more 5-star reviews or positive reviews pass through because of that. All right, moving on. Text message marketing. So there's a keyword, SMS keyword marketing that's built in into here. Holiday messages. This is more of a touch point. You want to be reminding your customers that you exist. So we've built out 12 different, almost one per month, including a birthday, holiday in here: New Year's, Father's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas, Valentine's, St. Patty's, Easter, so on and so forth. These are designed emails that are built in. If you want to use them, feel free to do so. But you can tell your customers that, hey, look, when Christmas comes, you don't need to figure out what message to send out to your customers. We already have that pre-built in the software for you, and it'll fire off to your customers on the 25th automatically. Of course, you've got some standard stuff in here, like the list cleanup or unsubscribe or resubscribe. How to handle that when someone opts out from text messages, emails, or an email bounces, or they're marked as a complaint. All of that's there. This is all the back end stuff that the customer doesn't even need to know about. It just needs to happen when they send out an email. If someone clicks an unsubscribe, it needs to do something, and these are the workflows that are responsible of that. Lastly, one of the major portions of HighLevel and advantages of HighLevel, in my opinion, is the ability to nurture on an automated method to your customers, so they don't fall out of crack, and you don't lose them over time. So we have a nurture campaign that's built in. You can literally put in 52 weeks worth of content, text messages or emails in here, or do it little at a time, where you can have some sort of value-added educational series type of messages go out to your customers that are reminding them of you, who you are, your value proposition, why they should go with you versus someone else. Share your reviews with them at the time, and what are our customers saying about us, this and that, so that they can see this. One of the ways we did this, so we did it for dental dentists in our dental snapshot. What we did there was built out a tooth tip of the day. Instead of it being, hey, book an appointment and you're going to get X percentage off, a salesy message. A lot of people don't like salesy messages in that matter. So two tip of a day, we're sharing with them how to stay healthy, how to keep your oral hygiene healthy, and people really enjoy that. And the best part is on the top of every message says tooth tip by and the name of the practice, and that's your branding opportunity. Every time they see that message that comes to them, they're going to know it came from XYZ Dental. And anytime they're at, let's say, a cocktail party, a get together, a family, someone asks, hey, I need to go see a dentist because I'm having some pain or this or that, right? Do you recommend anyone? You don't even have to think. You're going to know from the tip of your tongue, because you've been receiving those messages, this is the dentist you need to go see. Similarly, it's a perfect use case for many other businesses, and we've done it for a ton of other businesses as well. All right, that's in a nutshell what all the workflows that we include in the universal niche snapshot. So all to say that these are a lot of these are base workflows that almost every business needs when they get a new account with you. And instead of starting them off with a blank account and having them do the work, or you doing the work for them and having to build out each and everything, you've got a bunch of these already there. Turn on whatever you need, turn off everything else, and offer them that. Keep it really, really simple. Don't overcomplicate it, because as soon as you do, you're gonna be starting to confuse your customers. Right, Paulson?
100%. I think the biggest mistake a lot of people do is they build up a bunch of stuff that's already built by other people, and they feel like they have to reinvent the wheel, which is a huge mistake, because it takes a long time to have all these things built. This is going to take you a month to really think through and strategize and map out and write out and function and test and then enable and implement and all these different things. Like, it takes time to really get it to a point where it's like click and drop ready. Right. So I don't recommend you just taking a blank sheet of HighLevel and starting from scratch. Like, I recommend people going to providers like Extendly and jumping into a snapshot that has such a progressive and already forward thinking, structure to it. Because even if we launch new features or add to updates or whatever, Beant is ready to just add those small tweaks or add those updates. You don't have to rebuild this whole thing. So I 100% recommend you not starting from scratch.
Absolutely, and we do that all the time. There's a Kristen in the HighLevel group. She's very well regarded regarding email marketing. So yesterday or day before yesterday, she posted in her group about Apple Mail having some a auto unsubscribe message that goes out, and she recommended what to create as a workflow. So I shared that with my team, and my team put it in our small business universal niche snapshot, and here's that workflow that she recommended, exactly the way she recommended it, and it's already there and available as an update to our customers. And just like that, there's a bunch of tweaks that we make and small things we see happening over time, or new additions that come on that get added to this. One of those small tweaks was not too long ago, we added a unsubscribe funnel in here. So whenever you click an unsubscribe link, I think originally it was Mailgun or something, and it was having some sort of an issues with it. So we just built it out in here, and now there's an unsubscribe page that just says, "Hey, thank you for," or "You've been unsubscribed," or something along the lines. But it's branded, and it actually makes the customer feel like, yes, they did unsubscribe um, from it, instead of then going back and saying, oh, it looks like it's broken and I'm going to mark it as spam, and then that's going to hurt your email rating. All right. That is all I have on here. Paulson, is there anything you want to add for everyone watching?
I don't think so. The big important thing is to, honestly, from my standpoint, the biggest mistakes I see SaaSpreneurs making is they're not connected with the industry at a point they understand the love language of the industry. So when they present the expertise that they really have, they're like speaking Sanskrit, like nobody understands what you're actually building, like they just don't get it, right? So you have to really simplify it, go very elementary, assume that they've never used a computer before, and break it down. If you don't have the patience for that, don't do an onboarding call. Just take your time, reschedule it, have the patience, and just record it a few times if you have to, so you automate that as well if you want to in the future. The second thing is go after one target. Don't serve too many masters at the same time. It's really hard to capture multiple sectors of a market all at the same time. So focusing on one offer, one avatar until you kind of stabilize your revenue, and then go sideways, capture horizontal subsets as you want to moving forward. Number three is don't start from scratch. So take advantage of what Beant's offering you, or anyone else for that matter, where you're not rebuilding from scratch on HighLevel. HighLevel could turn into a huge nightmare within couple of days, and I've seen it happen all the time because there's like 400 something features. It's very easy to get lost and drown in it because of how wide the system really is. So I recommend you not starting from scratch. Those are the three big things that I would advise anybody that's wanting to become a SaaSpreneur today.
Fantastic. And lastly, anyone interested in signing up through our link, if you go to getextendly.com/highlevel, this is where you can see what our offer is, that I shared with you in the slideshow, and sign up here. And again, remember, anyone upgrading to the SaaS mode, and if you're already using the $297 plan with HighLevel, normally this is just $500 off from its original price of $995, but we're offering this for free for the rest of the month if you do upgrade within the month of July. All right. There's a bunch of questions I've seen come through. Let's go ahead and get to those and get some of those answered for everyone here. All right. I'm going to scroll up and see the questions that people are asking. All right. Are they in the Q&A? No, they're in the chat. Okay. Someone asked if this is being recorded. Yes, it is being recorded, and we'll have the replay available as well. We'll go ahead and send out an email to everyone, and we'll also post it on our group as well, and it'll be available on our YouTube channel also.
And what is your YouTube channel, Beant? I would love to check it out as well whenever I get a chance. What's the link?
Yeah. There it is. Yeah, it's a very good question. I need to know what the URL to our channel is, but I think it's down here somewhere. All right, here we go. So if you go to our website, scroll all the way down and click the YouTube link, and you'll go to the Externally for High
Okay.
Level
Okay,
YouTube
great.
channel,
Great. Thank you.
and you'll find it there. Yep. Fantastic. So that gets answered. All right, let's continue on. Can you explain A04 and Z005 workflow? Sean, do you want to unmute yourself and come on and ask any particular question related to those workflows, and so I can get those answered for you?
I think he was asking about the naming convention of how you thought about Alphabet 101
Oh,
or,
okay.
or
Got it.
Zebra.
So the Z's came in from everything that is extremely base that we need in every single business. Matter of fact, all of the workflows you see are the base workflows that we use to build every new snapshot that we've ever built. So every this is the base snapshot that gets used, and then we build additional customizations on top of that. But these are all the base. The numbers associated with it are just something we chose to keep ourselves organized. Anything related to calendars, it goes into Z001. Anything related to cancels and no-shows and reschedules goes into Z002. Anything related to any sort of incoming leads into Z03. Anything related to review requests 04, and so on and so forth. And then the A's are the stuff that goes into a particular account, depending on the industry. They need to be modified based on their approach. So the new leads pipeline automation based on, so the pipeline needs to be modified based on whatever their sales cycle is and how they foresee that. The nurture campaigns need to be changed and modified. The database reactivation may need to be modified as well. So that's sort of the thinking behind that. Did that answer your question, Sean?
Yeah, it does. It just seems to be critical since there's so much here to be organized, and you obviously have a very organized system. So I was just trying to figure out exactly how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the biggest benefit to this that to our support team has been that anytime someone reaches out, and by the way, we do provide support. Anytime someone reaches out to our support team and they chat with us, and they say, hey, something isn't working. So let's say they were talking about a website chat widget not working. My team will know exactly which workflow folder to go into, in this case, Z003, and they'll go in there and they'll say 3-1 is the website chat widget, and they'll start to troubleshoot from there to figure out what's going on. So these are all almost memorized by my support team by this time, between all of our different snapshots. And it really helps us provide a better support experience to you as a customer and or your customers when they ask us questions about something's not working, and it relates to maybe a calendar or a website chat widget or something else, and they'll know exactly where to go to start looking and troubleshooting from there.
Great, thanks.
Yep, no problem.
Also, beyond on that note, can you talk about your services, like your support services? If somebody did go through you on the Saas upgrade or whatever, what are the services that you provide that they can sign up for?
Yeah, absolutely. So, a few of the things that we do provide is our tech support. Our tech support is two tiers. One is to the agency. We create a private Slack channel for the agency and their users, and we provide support there to all of their questions that they may have. And then we do have a live chat widget that we install on a white label format inside the agency account if they wanted us to provide direct support to their customers as well. And you can find that information right here under our HighLevel white label support to see the options available. And if you click on the Buy Now button, you'll see our plans and everything that it includes. So $199 per month for the agency support, which is the Slack side of the things that I talked about. and then $2.99 or $4.99, depending on how many clients you wanted us to support, is there, and that's on a white label format. And then, of course, we do have our snapshot store. So our snapshots, some of our snapshots come along with it. And then when we do provide direct to client support, and you happen to be using one of our snapshots, you also have access to our onboarding as well, where a fluent English speaker will be on a Zoom call, and the call is 100% recorded, and you have access to it at a later time. We will set up that HighLevel account for your customer. We will set up all the custom values, install the snapshot, and then on a second call, first we do a tech call, then we do a training call. On a training call, we'll show them all the things that they need to know about how to use HighLevel on a day-to-day basis. And believe me, we really stick to mostly the conversations tab because we don't want to confuse your customers. So once everything's connected, your Zoom, your Google, your Facebook, all that integrations are done. And we're showing them and answering their questions on how to use this software, and mostly everything relates to conversations. And if you're interested to see how our onboardings are done, go to our YouTube channel. There's a sample onboarding that we've recorded there, and you can watch that to get an understanding of how our recordings are done. All right, Jesse's asking a question. I'm sorry, Jose. Jose, go ahead.
It's not a question. I just have a comment, and I'm not techie, and I'm in Miami, Florida. I'm Chaplain Carbo, and I highly recommend this program. The service is great, the support, and to me, it's a godsend, because to me to create all these things would have taken me forever. I'm 70 years old, and like I said, I'm not that techie, but this is making it so easy for me to use Go HighLevel. So anyway, I highly recommend it. If you guys, anybody there's on the fence, man, just check it out.
Fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate the compliments. All right. Let's go into the next question that we may have here. Sean's asking again, is there a workflow that includes Stripe and taking payments for a product, service, or event? At this time, Sean, we don't have any workflows related to taking a automatic payment. They're in the general one. There are, depending on the type of business, some of our other snapshots do have workflows that are related to a two-step order form, checkout, things of that nature. But HighLevel recently also added some workflows about invoices. And just yesterday, I saw Sean saying that recurring invoices is coming out soon. So once that's there, we will add on more workflows to include payments as well. And the next question from Sean again, how do I add your workflow package into multiple sub-accounts? Can I edit some of the workflows to save before uploading a sub-account? I want to customize for construction industry. Yes. So the way it works is when you get the snapshot, we're going to help you do the onboarding, and it's a one-on-one onboarding. You and someone in my team will be on the call with you to set up a demo account inside your HighLevel with this snapshot, and a master account inside your HighLevel. So the master account we will utilize as something that you can edit, customize to your fit, and then load that. Everything in that account is what you're going to load into your other sub accounts. And we go over that call and we show you how to do all of that. And then we also show you how to do updates and stuff. So if you make a change, how to go in there and update rest of the accounts, things of that nature there as well. So yes, you can definitely customize it and make changes as you need to. You can also remove some of the workflows if you didn't want to have them in there. All right. Jessica's asking, if I'm on a pro trial right now with someone else, is it possible to switch over to yours? Jessica, it may be possible. You'll need to reach out to HighLevel's support team. I believe if you're still under a trial, you may be able to switch. But if you've gone out of the trial, then you're locked in with that affiliate and with their program. So you may want to reach out to HighLevel support team to clarify that with them. All right, Sean, again, if we purchase the universal package, do we get free updates and new workflows, example, the Apple workflow? Yes, absolutely, Sean. So for up to 1 year from the time you receive the snapshot, you continue to get those workflow updates, and we maintain a change log of our snapshots, and in there we detail everything that we add on to a workflow. I'm sorry, to a snapshot, and what has changed, what's been updated. So you can update when we send out the link for the update. You can update those things, and there's generally a video that accompanies the update that states, hey, this is how you need to update, and these are the things that were updated within that snapshot, so that you can update yours and then further update your customers. How do customers or small business snapshot actually get the updates? John, exactly just how I answered that question for you. All right, and I think we're coming to the end. Cliff, how do you update once and update across multiple snapshots? So Cliff, once you receive the update, you'll update the master snapshot account that you would have that we would have created with you on our onboarding. And then when that gets created and updated, then HighLevel has a function in your inside your agency view. There's a refresh button on your snapshots, which pulls in all the changes that you've made. And then there's an update button that pushes across the linked accounts that you want to push that update to. So you can pick and choose which accounts, or you can choose all accounts. And then you can also pick and choose which particular items you want to update. And when you're updating, we don't generally recommend that you ever update the entire snapshot, because you may have made changes within that account. And if you did update the entire snapshot, it's going to overwrite whatever changes that were made inside that account to the particular workflows or forms or funnels, whatever that was. So for that reason, only update whatever was updated or added new, so that it doesn't have a conflict to the existing workflows that may be there. All right, last question from Sean. I have a very specific workflow I need to create for a client. Can we hire you guys to help me create it? Yeah, Sean. So reach out to us, schedule a call with our team, and let us know what that workflow is, and we'll definitely guide you to get that created for you. You can go to our website and schedule a call here with our team to tell us more about that. And by the way, I clicked on this, Paulson. So I want to share this with you. There's more than just one way that you can use HighLevel, and it's not only as a marketing CRM. So my team came up with this amazing idea of, hey, it could be used as a hiring CRM as well to automate the hiring process. So we built out a full blown snapshot that deals with automating your hiring. And matter of fact, I'm using this for all three of my businesses, for the restaurants, for my surveillance company, and here at Externally, to hire people. And it's so super easy. All we do is tell people to go to the website, apply there. They pick and choose whatever they want to. Matter of fact, here I'll show it to you guys. Here's the one for our restaurants. So you're brought to a site, you know, a little landing page that tells you who we are, how, you know, what we do, and this and that. We're here, we're hiring, apply now. You click on it, you go over to the positions, you select whichever position that you want there, and then it takes you over to a form, or actually the job description that you can apply for. You can save this job and capture the person's information there, or you can also click apply, which takes you to a form where you start to fill out your information and sort of go through the process. And in the back end, it's sending notifications and qualifying or disqualifying, even sending a video interview questionnaire to them, where someone actually from their phone they can record some videos and answer some questions. So you get a very good idea of who that prospective person is that you're trying to hire, and you don't have to waste a lot of time. If you don't like the personality and it's not you know, what you want for your business, you pass. You select a status and you say, hey, you know, rejected, or, you know, not interested, whatever the statuses are, and it automatically fires off an email. Or you can say accepted, I want to schedule an interview. It then fires off an email and says, hey, select a date from here and schedule an interview. It's pretty cool. Check it out. There's a video here that Sharon's created that details the entire snapshot. That I urge everyone to check it out.
That's really creative. That's a perfect example of, you know, SaaS products being created with everything that we have. I recently came across an inventory system like the U.S. military uses us as an inventory system. I had no idea. We met the rep at a conference, and he's like, yeah, I'm in Carolinas, and that's what we do. We use the opportunities board as an inventory system for one of the
Wow.
bakeries. And came across a junk removal company that does that uses notifications to reschedule appointments that their truckers no-show the homes at, right? So like they created this whole door-to-door notification system. I mean, we're seeing a lot of cool things being built with HighLevel, but that's really neat. Beant, that's pretty cool. Hiring is one of the biggest problems companies have, so that's a big one.
Right, absolutely, and it could be, you know, a lot of time waste as well. So, you know, our approach was here to try to eliminate as much of the wasted time here. So, but yeah, there's multiple ways to use HighLevel. You just got to get creative with it. All right, so there's no more questions. We'll go ahead and end the meeting now. Everyone, thank you very much for joining us for this webinar. And Paulson, I want to thank you, and it was honored to have you here. And I'm looking forward to having more webinars with you.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Good to meet you in Zoom, and hopefully we can meet in person in one of the events.
Absolutely.
Or HighLevel, or you do, or whoever does, and looking forward to it. All right,
Sounds
see
good.
you, everybody.
Thank you. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.